Welcome back to Internet Girlz.
Welcome. Happy you are here. Hannah and I have been waiting to catch up with each other until this very moment.
It's hard when you have a podcast because you can't just like chat. You
I
have to
know.
really
We're like, save it for the pod. Save it for
save
the
it for
pod.
the pod.
Yeah, and there's so much. Like, we were just about to like catch up in Kiki, and I was like, wait a second. I
Let
gotta
us
hit
hit
record.
Yes, so Torri was just about to tell me she had a really fun day in Boston yesterday. Tell me everything.
Yeah, it's so fun because like we can take the train from Salem to Boston like so easily. It's like a 37-minute train ride.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, and it's so nice. I love a train. It makes me feel like Harry Potter. You
You
know?
do love a train.
I do.
You guys, when Tori was visiting, she was like enamored with the fact that John, my husband, takes a train to work every day. She was like, that is so cool. He just like walks over, gets on the little train.
No, I'm like, that is a dream life. To take the train to work every day. I bet he just feels like I don't know. See, in my head, that just sounds so fun.
You're
But
so funny. It's fun the first couple times, and then you're like, oh, I have to do this every day. Cool.
well, I feel like it's like you could zone out. It's like me time, like turn
It
your
is.
brain.
That's how I got into podcasts actually, because I used to take the train to work when I worked in
Mhm.
corporate. And I remember vividly like going on BART in San Francisco and like putting my little like podcast in and like listening to it and feeling like a girl of the world, you know?
And it's so funny. I've been saying that all the time lately. I just am like, I'm a girl of the world. So
I
I
love
know
it.
I know about this happening and like this is going on right now because like I'm a girl of the world. So
She's a
like
girl of the world.
yeah, we
You
should
are
make
so cute.
shirts. Girl of the girls of the
Girls of the world. Okay, who wants merch? Who's ready?
wait, rebrands podcast, girls of the
Girls
world.
of the world. Yeah. Doesn't even launch podcast yet, just like renames it. Perfect.
But yesterday we hopped on the train like Harry Potter, and then we went to breakfast at our favorite place called Tati. It's the cutest. I was like Googling. I was like, you know what? I'm so sad. And what the saddest part about this whole travel nurse life is that we get to find the like cool, and it's one of the best parts too, is you get to find like the coolest little like niche, like restaurant, bakery, like whatever eateries in each little area of the country or corner of the country, and then you move away from them and they're gone forever.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and there's
Heartbreaking.
nothing you can do because it's like they're the part of them that makes them so like special is the fact that they're so like local and the ingredients and stuff are
Right.
like locally sourced. So it's there's a place called Tati like that, and they're like everywhere in Boston, and they expanded to the DC area, so they're
Mm.
everywhere in DC. It's funny. Our friend Katie, Eat It Katie,
Eat it,
her
Katie.
mom was messaging me because they live in the DC area, and she was like, "Oh, I love Tati."
That's so cute. Shout out to Peggy.
Yeah,
We love you, Peggy.
love you, Peggy. But Matt got shashuka, which I freaking love shashuka. Have you ever had it?
Yum. You know what's funny? I like tell everyone I'm like I love shakshuka, but I've never actually ordered it.
You need to whenever
I'm
you
going
come
to.
visit, we'll have that. They have like three different kinds. Matt got the traditional one. It's so funny because like I'm the kind of orderer. Are you like this too? I don't know if you're like this or not, but I want to order like a few different things and everyone share.
Oh, 100%. No, if I always say if I ran for president, I would run on the platform that every restaurant should be tapas style
Yeah,
because then you can try everything because as an indecisive queen, like we can't just choose
I want a
one
bite of
dish.
everything. Like if
Exactly.
there was a menu item that was like one bite of everything on the menu, that's what I'm ordering.
That is perfect. I know. That's I think why I love like Asian food and Chinese food because you can just go with a ton of people and get like 10 to 15 dishes if you're crazy
Yeah,
and just try everything. I like my plate to be colorful and have like this is
everything.
perfect though, Tori, because when you and I go out to eat together now we can share.
Yeah, 100%. And which we already do, so I
We
take care of
already
that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a second. That's exactly what we do.
Matt, he's like, I want my own big plate of food, and so I had to like convince him to let me split the shakshuka with him, but he did because he always does. But
I
it
hate when
was
they don't listen to us. Like sometimes John will be like, I really don't want to share tonight. And I'm like, that's actually not an option. Like that's what you signed up for in this marriage.
yeah, like
Take a break with
hello.
you.
Yeah, that's part of this. That was in the vows. You just missed it.
You missed. Went right over your head, buddy.
That was really fun. And then I went to the Wonder Museum. Have you heard of them? Wonder Museums? It's like WNDER.
Uh-oh. No, I
Uh,
haven't.
but they're in like major cities. San Francisco has one, and basically they take like local artists and they like do exhibitions, and it's like an interactive museum.
Oh my God, cool. I can't
Yeah.
believe we have one here.
Yeah. There's
Wonder. I love an interactive museum. Like, I think that's another platform I would run on for president. Every museum has to be interactive.
yeah. They need to like go back and fix all the ones that aren't. We did that. It was so fun. And then we went to a fancy lunch at this restaurant called Contessa, which is like a famous restaurant, and I've been dying to go to it. It's on this rooftop, and we got spicy lobster pasta, and
That pasta looked so good.
it was delicious. But
Y'all, I just bought plane tickets to go out to Boston this summer and hang out with Miss Torri. Because like I've actually never been to Boston. I actually dated a guy from Boston, but I've never been to Boston. I've driven through, but I'm very excited to see that part of the country, eat all this food I've been hearing so much about. Go to everything Tori loves and just like have a fancy Boston girl summer.
yeah, it's gonna be so fun. I am stoked. I already in my head have planned out the whole thing.
Oh my gosh,
Not in
I'm
stone,
so
but
excited.
just like in my head, I'm like, okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this and this and this. So I cannot wait.
So I am so excited to get into our topic since we've already been like gabbing for like 10 minutes. Let's I know. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's get to our topic today. And this is one that I am personally so excited about because I'm going to be interviewing Tori today. What it's like to be married to a travel nurse. Because if you guys don't know, Tori's married to a travel nurse. They move every 3 to 6 to 9 months. And that's why she's a girl of the world, because she'd be out here moving.
That's right.
So we have a ton of questions and we're just gonna like see what this life is like because it sounds like a really fun and cool life.
Yeah, it's wild out here. It's so funny because Matt's actually home today, and he happens to be sitting like right next to me. So
Oh, that's perfect. Well, if he wants to join in on anything. Well, Tori, why don't you give us a quick summary of what a travel nurse does?
basically, it's a nurse like you would have at the hospital at your local hospital, but basically they are contracted out to do jobs at any hospital. They're basically at almost every single hospital in the country because there's a shortage of nurses everywhere. So they contract nurses out to come to them, and they pay them a little bit more to compensate for getting them out there and the need, and also like being away from your family and all of that stuff, because the contracts are typically only 3 months at a time. There are some that are longer, and there's some that are shorter, so it just really depends. Like there can be a contract as short as a month, and there can be a contract
Oh, wow.
as long as like if you do an overseas one, we'll get into that later, but those can be like a year-long contract.
That's really cool. So how did Matt get into this and like how did he hear about it?
Well, I remember when he was in nursing school, we were like, as soon as I heard that travel nursing was a thing, I was like, oh, we're doing that.
You were like, that is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And because Matt was a parasail captain when I met him. And when he came home one day and was like, oh, I want to go to nursing school, I was like, what? Like my mind like was blown. Like I could not wrap my head around that. It seemed so far off from like what I thought that he was going to be doing for the rest of
Yeah.
his life that I was like a little shocked. But still, I was like, okay, if that's really what you want to do, then sure, let's do it. But I'm a little shocked, but okay.
Supportive wife. We love
Yeah,
it.
but I'm supportive. Let's do it. And then while he was in nursing school, we heard about travel nursing, and I had a couple friends who had done it, who were doing it while he was in nursing school. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we should definitely do that. Like, we want to travel and we want to make more money. So like,
Yeah,
what is
what's the
the
downside?
exactly?
Literally obsessed. And so when you're like looking at your like next location, like do you get to choose where you go or is there like something that like chooses for you? Like how does that work?
No, you like really get to choose wherever you want to go. So that's the
Wow.
best part of this is like it's not like the military or something where someone is like, "Hey, you have to go here." Like you just have to. No say.
Mhm.
It's like your contract is for an allotted amount of time. Usually they're 3 months on average. So, let's say once your 3 months is up, then like there's contracts all over the country. You have a recruiter who kind of facilitates everything for you. So you talk to your normally when you're towards the end of your contract, your recruiter's reaching out like, "Hey, let's get you signed up for the next one," because they make, you know, commission. That's how they make their money too. So
Oh. Oh
yeah,
my
so
gosh, that's so clutch. But
hmm
like, this is not even one of my written questions, but like, does Matt get attached to people at his job and then has to like go meet all new coworkers? Because I know for me, my coworkers were like the best part of my job when I worked in corporate. And I cannot imagine every like 3 months having to get all new coworkers.
yeah, that is like a really sad thing for him.
Oh,
Luckily, though, he's the type of person who he's very like professional at work. Like I'm more of the let's be friends and hang out, tell me your life story and stuff at work. And
hmm.
he's like super professional at work, super, but he still like makes like there's a few times where he's gotten really close with a couple people. Like when he was in Santa Barbara, there's this I don't want to say older, but she's like about his mom, maybe a little bit younger than old enough to be his mom, but around that age. And they were like, her name was Tiffany, and they were so close. And they would always
Oh.
like host him and Tiffany would be in cahoots to like, they'd be like, look at who was working and be like, hey, let's organize a potluck next time we work because all these people are going to be working at the same time and they make really good food. Like,
Oh, hell yes. Good job, Matt.
yeah, so and then Tiffany would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna start the group chat right now," and then you reply plate, so all you have to bring is plate.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, well, professional Matt. Love that.
Yeah. But he does that is hard.
So, can you like, you kind of touched on this, but can you go anywhere in the world? Like, let's say you wanted to go to like, I don't know, Hong Kong or New Zealand. Like, could you find contracts in those places or is it like pretty much bound to the US?
No, you can find contracts abroad for sure. Uh I want to say you have most of them I think you have to be like English speaking
Mm,
because obviously you
that makes
kind
sense. Yeah.
of need to know the language to do your job. I'm sure in the other countries you probably could also do contracts there if you speak the language, but like for us, we're dumb Americans and only learn one language our
So, do you
life.
guys want to go anywhere else outside the US?
I would love to do New Zealand because
Mm,
that is one that's been brought up and they always are looking for travel nurses. But if you do an abroad contract, which you could do New Zealand, you can do, I've heard of New Zealand, Australia, and London that are
mm,
pretty easy to do. And Ireland actually, but you have to do it for a year. They're like their contracts are year-long contracts. So the thing about that is like what if you sign one of them and it's like an awful hospital, Is that's like
yeah.
the only thing. Then you're locked in for a year. And the rates aren't as good as they are here in America.
Yeah, but you also get to have like a year-long vacation, basically.
I know. But I would love to do New Zealand. We've talked about it a lot. I think it will depend on, for us at least, it's going to depend on the whole kid situation. If we end up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, New Zealand's such a great place for kids too. So if you wanted to do that after you had a kid, I feel like it would be good. I just got back from a trip to New Zealand, you guys. So I'm like basically an expert on that whole country.
President.
President of New Zealand. So wait, you said that if it's like a bad hospital, that you would be stuck for a year. Has he had situations that have been like kind of bad hospitals?
He's had situations where there have been hospitals that he did not love. Um,
Oh.
a few, actually, there's only been like one, really.
And what about it did he not like?
They were just super understaffed, or they didn't have like the resources, or also the doctors at the particular hospital. Like the culture was just like to not be very good at your job, you know?
Oh, I
And
see.
see,
Okay.
so, and by what it means by not be very good at your job is like not responding to orders, or not really rounding on your patients when you say you are, and just typing in the computer that you rounded on them, like stuff like that, that in certain hospitals can be the culture of the hospital, that people do that. And so like those hospitals, because Matt is a really good nurse and a rule follower to his core, he cannot with him.
Wow, yeah. I feel like yeah, we've all been in those hospitals where it's like, "Ooh, these nurses don't seem to care much."
Mhm.
So I can see your point.
Yeah.
So, kind of on that, have you ever like been to a place that you like really regretted, like whether it was the hospital or whether it was just like the place you were in?
Yeah. Um we regret doing the LA contract that we did, which it was actually
Mm.
more in Orange County, but it was like on the line of Orange County and LA, and we lived in Long Beach. That's like where it starts, and that's like the armpit of LA. I feel like it's not the cool part.
Very
A-
true. Very true.
And so I feel like if we were gonna do LA, he should have done like a senior cyanide, or like a bigger hospital, a nicer
Mm.
hospital there, because he went to one of the shittiest. That was like he did. I don't want to name drop them, but that was
Yeah.
not like his favorite hospital. He didn't. We hated where we lived. Like our apartment was awful, and
Oh,
so and then the city itself, like we just Long Beach. It was like outside of our apartment. Yeah, you could. There were walking distance to cool bars and stuff like that, but also like it was kind of dangerous. Like outside of our window, we would hear like gunshots and stuff
mm.
on the regular.
Love LA. Love
Yeah.
LA.
So it was like all the way around, because Matt and I have found that there's like a formula to this. Like we either have like he needs to really like the hospital. We need to also have a really good like living situation where we love our apartment. And then there's also the friend aspect, like
Yeah.
where we like meet a couple of cool people that we can like do stuff with. And in LA, we were only there for 3 months, and I didn't really try. I did meet my friend Sydney there, so that was cool, but like it's not like we had a friend that like Matt could hang out with too, and it wasn't like a group of people. Where most of the time that we've enjoyed, it's been like, oh, we've met like a cool group of people, and we've kind of inserted ourselves into like their group and like hung out with them for uh that like space and time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you have to really be the right type of person to do this because I could see it being so lonely if you're not someone who like puts themselves out there and meets new friends. Like even I'm pretty extroverted, but I feel like I would even have a hard time like every 3 to 6 months finding a whole new group of friends.
Yeah, yeah. And I think and I'm already extroverted, but it makes me even more so extroverted, because like I'm like, okay, I have to be, but it's like exacerbated my my whatever
Yeah.
you call that is. Now whenever I'm in social situations, I'm so outgoing, which I'm already outgoing, but because of the situation I'm in, I feel like I always have this mindset that's like I need to make friends. Like even Which I even feel like I'm like that way out of Vince too, which I have that naturally in me, but I think it also stems from this life of like, oh, okay, like always having that in the back of my head of needing to make friends.
Yeah, no, I love that. I took Tori to an influencer event like a couple weeks ago, and she was just walking up to everyone like, "Hi, I'm Tori. What's your name?" "Hi, I'm Tori." I was like, this is amazing. It's like having a dog or something. Like it's just like a natural icebreaker, you know? Like I didn't have to do any of the work. It was just Tori being like, "Hey, I'm gonna make us all the friends."
No, but you're just as outgoing and sparkly too. So it's great. We like bounce off of each other. But yeah, I'm not scared to make the first move.
I love that so much. I feel like I'm always awkward at first. I'm like, okay, once like we get going, like I'm gonna be like your bestie. But at first I'm like, do I approach them? Do I not? Do I like stand here and stare at them? Like I'm just like an awkward little turtle. So it's nice having that.
Well, also I feel like we were in, Northern California, and like the vibe out there is a little more I don't know, like professional. And I think that stems from like the
Corporate
like
setting here.
exactly being so like big of an influence out there that it like trickles in. And so I think I'm just like don't have that because I'm not from there.
I love that. I do feel like in this area, people are a lot more like closed off. And I know you lived in San Jose, which is like South Bay at one point. Did you make friends there?
No. Okay, I was trying to figure out what was the second place that he was like not fond of.
Yeah. I mean, you chose the wrong part of the bay.
I know. That's what everyone kept telling. Even at that event, I was like, "Well, I used to live in this area," and they were like, "Where?" I was like, "San Jose," and they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah."
Everyone's like, boring.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, it was very boring. I also reached out to so many people, and no one wanted to help me.
That's so sad.
I know. I
I'm
know.
so sad we didn't know each other then. Like that's biggest regret of my life was not meeting you sooner.
I know. Like, what a missed opportunity. Like, we
Ugh.
would have had so much fun. But so we do regret that one too. Like,
Gotcha. Good to
and
know.
and LA.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I'm like the biggest hater of LA, so I would never choose to live there.
Yeah. I don't think I would either. Granted, I would be open to doing another 3 months in a cooler part of like Santa Monica area. Maybe even like a Malibu. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that is not like San Jose, like I mean, well, San Jose or Long Beach, like on
Yeah.
side of LA.
Yeah. The armpit of LA and the armpit of the Bay Area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about like could you do this on a cruise ship? Because I feel like that would be so fun to be on a cruise ship for 3 months.
I know. Matt, do you know the answer to that?
Hello.
Can
I mean, they do have medical personnel on cruise ships, right?
they have nurses?
Yeah.
Do they have travel nurse contracts on cruise ships?
I don't know the answer to that, but I mean,
Mm.
I would love to go on a cruise but you'd have to work every day, so it's probably not as glorious as it sounds, you know?
That's
You're probably
true.
just working all the time every day, and then you're probably like eating the cruise food every day, which could be like good and bad.
You have a point. I feel
Yeah.
like it's sounds more fun than it actually is.
Yeah. But also, like I don't think that they would let you bring a significant other. Cause like there's even some contracts. Like we would love to do Nantucket, and Nantucket always has
Mm.
contracts. Like, can you imagine? That
That
would
would
be
be amazing. But that's so odd because like you guys like sleep in the same bed and stuff. It's not like you would take up that much more space.
I know, but it's because they like shack you up. They like it's like a 2-bedroom apartment. So they put like,
Oh.
but it's so nice. Like I would I would have a roommate for 3 months, and I'm someone who like hates roommates. But
Yeah.
like
You're like, I'm okay with that.
Nantucket is like so nice. Like I would love to do that. But there are contracts that have those like stipulations.
So I feel like a big question people probably ask you a lot is, hello, you're a fashion influencer. So like how the hell do you move?
With the
Like all your
clothes.
stuff all the time.
Yeah, that is like my cross to bear. Like it is so annoying. That's probably one of our main disagreements is like him being so annoyed with my clothes being taking over our life.
Mhm.
And every time we move, like I have to fit them in the car. So I mostly donate. Like I recently just started selling a little bit of my clothes, like, and that was fairly recent. That was like in the last like 2 weeks. I started selling a couple of doing some closet sales. But other than that, I've just been donating them or like passing them off to consignment shops for them to sell. And
But
then
I
the
feel like
rest
I would be so heartbroken to like have to say goodbye to like a majority of my clothes all the time.
I am. I am. It's so sad. But you would be amazed with how much clothes I take with me though. Like it would blow your mind.
Yeah, see, my clothes would fill up like an entire car by themselves.
Mine do. Like they do.
You're like, yeah, actually, we have a whole car just for my clothes.
So, well, what I do is I get those huge vacuum seal bags. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Yeah.
giant ones. And then I just like vacuum seal them down. Like last time, I think I had like 6 or 8 around there of the giantest ones that are like up to my like boob. Like that's how tall the
Oh,
bags.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. My
So
clothes.
you have room for some stuff.
I
Is there
know.
anything that you like would recommend besides those like vacuum seal bags that are super clutch for people who do travel a lot or have to like move their things a lot?
Yeah, something that I do is I have a rack as well, which this isn't really so much for the moving, but it's for like whenever you get to the places and if you have a lot of clothes like that, like just having an extra rack to throw more clothes up on is like game changing and they're kind of cute, you know, like you can
They
get
are
cute.
cute.
Yeah, and so it's like aesthetic and functional, and it's been such a lifesaver. I actually just upgraded my rack. That's TBD. Matt's gonna set it up in our new place. And
Exciting.
yeah, and so I'm gonna say goodbye to my old rack that every time we've moved, I have taken this rack with me. Like it's came from on every single move.
Oh, wow. Wait, so
Yeah.
you're moving again?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Out of this place because we, we our our lease when did our lease ends May 25th here, but
Mhm.
we found a place like 20 minutes up the road and super cute, which was a scramble to find because typically in any time in our experience that we've wanted to extend in a place, we've been able to do that no problem, and our landlord has just been like, yeah, sure, like we'll extend, or they're hoping for that because it's always good, you know,
Yeah.
whenever a tenant extends. But this guy is short-term rentaling this place,
Mm.
so um yeah, we had to get out. We have to get out. And so that was such a scramble to find housing, but we did it. We were so stressed out. And it's about $300 more than we want to pay, but desperate times, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So,
Yeah, that sounds stressful. And like as someone who doesn't know anything about this, I'm like, how do you find short-term rentals? Because like are you going to Facebook Marketplace or like how do you find that?
I mean, I've heard of people doing it like a gazillion different ways, but the most common way is Furnish Finder. That is like the best because they don't take a cut. So like if you go on Airbnb, which we have used before, it inflates the cost so much because they just have so many hidden fees that by the time you hit like finish and pay, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, this was your price, but here's all the fees. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, we
yeah.
love those Airbnb fees, don't we?
Yeah, it's crazy. So we finally so now we just use Furnish Finder. We've used that every other time besides the first and only time we did Airbnb.
And is that like only for travel nurses or can anyone use it?
Anyone can use it. It's geared
Oh.
towards healthcare professionals and travel nurses in general, but literally anyone can use it.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay,
Mhm.
Furnish Finder.
Mhm.
Way better than Airbnb.
Way better. But you need to do like a month long uh it's four
Yeah.
month long stays. And so like none of the stays can be shorter than 30 days. So
No, that's great. Because a couple years ago, like during the pandemic, John and I decided we wanted to just like city hop. And so we like rented out our house and we
uh-oh.
did like a month in
Hello.
Seattle, a month in Albuquerque, and a month in Palm Springs. But we had to go through Airbnb because we like didn't know any better. So I feel like this would have been so clutch for something like that because Airbnb is so expensive. It's insane.
Oh my gosh. It's like the markup. I don't understand. And now people, there's like things coming out recently that people are like not making any money Airbnb their places anymore because the fees are so
Really?
crazy that Airbnb is charging.
You're
Yeah.
kidding.
Hmm.
They're just running their company into the ground. That's insane.
I
More on
know.
that later.
Yeah.
Do you have any like rituals or routines that like you and Matt do to like stay connected and stay like grounded despite like constantly moving?
Yeah, there's things that we do no matter where we are in whatever city that like make us feel like we're in a routine or like we're doing things that we like and keep us kind of sane. Like we love going to the movies. So sometimes even just like finding our favorite movie theater, and also like finding our favorite coffee shop to go do work from. And so like sometimes we'll have a day where we'll like go to our favorite coffee shop that we found and then go see a movie. And that to us feels like home, like
That's
no
so
maure where we
cute.
are. Also, I
Yeah.
know that this is weird, but also eating at Chick-fil-A sometimes tastes like home to us. Cause
I know what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah, like I've been in like I spent like a month in Asia once and I saw a Starbucks. I'm not a Starbucks person, but for some reason I was like, yes, that feels like home. Like I need to go have a Starbucks right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's how it is. So it's mainly things like that and like finding your favorite places in each city, but they're like still this things that we love. Like Matt's obsessed with acai bowls, so we have to find our like favorite acai bowl place in every city and our favorite pizza place in every city or our sushi spot in every
I love
city.
it.
Yeah.
That's so fun though, because I know like John and I, when we travel and go see a new city, that's like our favorite thing to do is go out and like find these fun little restaurants, cute little coffee shops, and like picture ourselves living there. You're
Mhm.
like selling me on this lifestyle so much. I'm like, okay, neither of us are medical people, but this sounds awesome.
Hey,
So
John
if
can
you're
work from home.
that's true. So if there are people listening who might be considering this lifestyle, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Like seriously, this is the best thing that we've ever done for ourselves. There definitely will be a day probably coming in the next sooner than later years that Matt and I stop doing this because it's not like a forever thing, but it has been the most like life enriching, made us better people, made us stronger, made us like in all ways just enriched who we are and
Oh,
and helped us grow our perspective on people and places and have more compassion and empathy and just it's been the best thing ever. So I can't recommend it enough. I do think it's nice if you have someone to do it with because I can't imagine doing it for as long as we have alone. Like we talk about that a lot. So even if you don't have a partner, maybe you have a best friend who's around your same age that's a nurse and y'all are like, let's go do it. I'd say go for it. Like do
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are both such beautiful people, and I love knowing how much of an impact this has had on both of your lives. Thank you so much for sharing more about this. I know that you talk about this a lot on your TikTok, on your Instagram, but it's so nice to be able to like sit down and just like pick your brain about how this nomadic lifestyle works for you guys because it's a really cool, unique experience that you're getting to have.
Yeah, we love it so much. It's been such a wild ride. And even when I look back and think about who I was like when we first started, like looking at pictures of like us in San Jose, I'm like, wow. That's a baby who like
Come so far.
yeah, and doesn't really like has changed her perspective so much since now, you know?
Oh, I love that. I know it's cool to like look back and be like, look at that child who knew like absolutely nothing about what we were getting into. And now you're like a total expert on this and you can like give people advice. And it's just so fun.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I was so like scared and nervous, but excited, you know,
Hmm.
back then. And now it's like we're immune. Like that whole showing up in a new city and feeling that, like, ooh, I wonder where this is. Like, we're like, I don't know, like you could plot me in a new city and that whole like scared feeling of not knowing where things are and being worried about that, that is out of my brain. Like, I don't have that anymore.
I love that so much. I feel like it does just like make you a better traveler because I know you and Matt like you not only like live this nomadic lifestyle but you do travel so much to like so many different places and I can only imagine like how much that helps you like learn how to navigate a new city, make friends in a new city even if you're only there for like a week or two.
Yeah, no, totally.
Mm,
Totally. I love it. Love
I'm
it so
so
much.
glad. Well, you guys, if you have follow-up questions for Tori or for Matt, you can reach out to her at Tori Sunshine on
Mhm.
Instagram, TikTok. If TikTok doesn't go away, we'll talk about that later. Um,
No.
yeah, RIP. And you can follow us on the socials at Internet Girlz Pod. That's girls with a Z, with a Z. And yeah, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah, we're just girls of the world.
We're just girls of the world.